to all our shareholders, investors, stakeholders, and employees whose relentless support and dedication have been pivotal in achieving yet another quarter of outstanding results. We have always remained focused on empowering the nation's growth by fostering critical infra projects across various sectors. Our commitment to sustainability and responsible financing has been unwavering, ensuring that our projects not only drive economic progress but also make a positive impact on the environment and communities. During this press conference, we will delve into the finer details of our financial performance, our key achievements, and the strategies that we have steered REs Limited to another impressive quarter of financial results. Additionally, we will also address any questions or clarifications that you may seek to better understand our journey and future prospects. On the dais is our CMD, Sri Vivek Kumar Devangan, Indian Administrative Service Officer, 1993 batch from Manipur cadre, and who has steered this company in the financial year ending 2023 from Maharatan into Navaratna, and highest ever in the 53 years of REC's existence performance business, highest ever the sanction of 2.68 lakh crore and the release disbursements of close to 97,000 crores.
And on up from last year's quarter one, our total sanction was about 59,895 crore. This year in quarter one itself, we have sanctioned projects worth 90,797 crore. That is an increase of 52% year-on-year basis for quarter one. With regard to disbursement, the bottom line is that our income from the interest and our revenue from operations do come from the maximum amount of disbursement. So far the trend has been that maximum disbursement used to happen in quarter 3 and quarter 4 only, and quarter 1 and quarter 2 used to be sluggish for REC. But this year we are trying to reverse the trend, and the disbursement in quarter 1 this year has been 34,133 crore as compared to 12,442 crore in the last financial year Q1, indicating a growth of 174% in Q1 itself. In fact, this disbursement in Q1 is almost equivalent to the disbursement of quarter 4 of the last financial year. And we are committed to increase our disbursement in the subsequent quarters. Q1 itself, we have touched the level of 34,133 crore. If we maintain this trajectory in the current financial year, our disbursement is going to cross 1,30,000 crore easily, because last year our total disbursement was about 96,000 crore only. Income from operation. Our income from operation has increased by 16%. Last year in Q1, income from operation was 9,469 crore. This year it has gone up to 10,964 crore, indicating an increase of 16% as compared to quarter 1 of the last year. Profit before tax has gone up by 26% in Q1. We have touched the figure of 3,712 crore in Q1 as compared to Q1 of the last year of 2,940 crore. It indicates an increase of 26%. The profit after tax has also seen a growth of 21% in Q1 of last year. In fact, profit after tax in Q1 of this current financial year is almost equivalent to the profit after tax of Q4 of the last financial year. Our loan book has gone up to 4,54,000 crore. At the end of the financial year last year, our loan book stood at 4,35,000 crore. When we compare the Q1 of last year, Our total outstanding loan last year in Q1 was 3,87,888 crore. It has seen an increase of 17%. Similarly, our net worth has also grown phenomenally. Now our net worth stands at 60,886 crore, representing an increase of 15.75% as compared to net worth of the company, which was 52,600 crore in Q1 last year by the end of June 22. The capital adequacy ratio has also increased to 27.6% as compared to last year's 25% figure. The gross NPA and net NPA have also come down substantially. Last year in Q1, the gross NPA was 4.41%. This year, gross NPA has come down to 3.28%. Last year, the net NPA in Q1 was 1.41%. This year, it has gone below 1% and it stands at 0.97%. And the company has not added any new NPA in the last 6 quarters. And if they are able to maintain this trajectory, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve about 6 to 9 projects in the current financial year, and we are targeting to become net zero NPA company by the end of December 2025. Next 2 years, we are targeting to become net zero NPA company. I would like to use this opportunity to highlight that recently on the sidelines of G20 Energy Ministerial and Clean Energy Ministerial, which was held in Goa last week, REC had organized Green Finance Summit, and we had got a tremendous response, not from only solar wind developers, but from manufacturers, technology providers, and investors. And on the sidelines of this G20 Energy Ministerial, we were able to sign memorandum of understandings worth about 2,86,000 crore. We are now planning to reorient our business strategy. Our loan book is expected to grow to about 10 lakh crore by the end of 2030, next 7 years. Right now, our renewable energy portfolio stands around 7% of our total outstanding loan. We intend to increase our renewable energy portfolio to about 30%. That is, we are targeting to have renewable energy portfolio of about 3 lakh crore by the end of 2030. This is in line with the ambitious energy transition goal set by the Government of India. As Honorable Prime Minister had announced during COP26 at Glasgow in November 2021 that India would become net zero by the year 2070, and by the year 2030 will install non-fossil fuel based capacity up to 500 gigawatt. As you are aware, renewable energy is intermittent in nature. For balancing the grid, we need storage solution. Therefore, we have brought special products to support storage solution, be it battery energy storage or pump storage, hydro projects or hydrogen fuel cell. We have recently sanctioned green ammonia and green hydrogen projects also. Keeping in line with the overall vision of Government of India, particularly Ministry of Power for Energy Transition, will be supporting round-the-clock power supply through solar, wind or hybrid solution, and flexible operation of coal-based power plant. Storage solutions will also be focusing on offshore wind and green ammonia and green hydrogen. Green ammonia and green hydrogen project, which is based in Oman. Since we became Maharatan company last year in September 2022, we can take up overseas projects also, and we can invest up to 5,000 crore in a single project. So we got more financial and operational autonomy after becoming Maharatna. The Oman project is one of the new of its own kind, where we are financing green hydrogen, green ammonia project, for which tie-up for sale offtake of green ammonia has already been tied up. We are also in the process of setting up of our subsidiary in Gift City at Gandhinagar. Once this subsidiary is set up, we'll be able to do lending in dollar terms. Borrowers can pay in dollar terms to us. So that will be a major facility at the Gift City. With these few words, let me ask my officers to make a brief presentation about the highlights of our Q1 of this financial year.
Enterprises to the most coveted public sector enterprises and the best performing public sector enterprises. So we were designated this. The second is that we also started to lend. We took our shareholders' approval for lending to non-power infrastructure sector. So these are two major highlights of our 2022 journey. The key strengths: we have unique and close relationship with all major players in the public and private Indian power sector, registered as an NBFC PFI and IFC with RBI, nodal agency for major Government of India's power sector programs like RTSS, Saubhagya and DDU-GJY, major player in renewable energy segment, highest domestic rating of AAA and internationally at par with the sovereign, strong fundamentals and profitable business. We occupy a strategic position in the growth and development of the power sector and a very experienced management team with sector expertise. So these are some of the accolades. Best PSU were awarded by the Dun & Bradstreet, India's top 20 profitable companies by Money Control. It's ranked 53rd in the Fortune India 500. We were awarded the Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance, and we were awarded by the Indian Chamber of Commerce as the Operationally Performance Excellence Company. So as I said, we were accorded the Maharatan status in FY 22-23. So the main advantage is that it gives us greater autonomy, operational and financial autonomy. It also allows us strategic investment by incorporating JVs and subsidiaries, and we can accelerate growth and support Government of India's vision for power sector. So these are all the areas that we are looking into: metro, post waterways, airport, oil refinery, health, steel, IT infra, road and airways. In all of these areas, we have already sanctioned some amount really. So we are the government's trusted arm. We were involved earlier with the village electrification, so DDU-GJY, and the 100% household electrification, Saubhagya. And the NEF is a scheme to operationally strengthen the distribution company. We issue the regulatory parameters for Government of India. We also do the consumer service rating of DISCOMs, annual integrated rating of DISCOMs. Currently, we are in association with PFC, with a nodal agency for the very important reform distribution sector scheme. And the LPS and financial disruptive cost of operation, there also we are the supporting arm of Government of India. So this is our shareholder patterns. You can see that foreign portfolio investors continues to hold more than 20% in our shares. Our EPS for this quarter is 11.24, annualized is 44.96. Book value per share is 231.22, and today we declared the first interim dividend of 3 rupees per share. Very high dividend paying company. Last year we paid 126% of our equity share capital. The top shareholders, you can see, many of these are Power Finance Corporation, of course, our holding company, and the other, many of them are foreign portfolio investors. So for Q1 sanctions this year, Q1 we sanctioned 90,797,000 crore, highest ever quarterly sanction. disbursements 34,133 crores, which is up by 170, more than 170% of Q1 of the corresponding previous year. Outstanding loans have now gone up to 4,54,393 crores. We've crossed the 4,54,000 mark, and it's growing every day. And these are our state-wise bifurcation. Our private sector is only constitute 10% of our total loan assets, largely to the state. But now with renewal becoming the focus of the company, you will see more and more increase in the private sector borrowers portfolio. Major borrowers, top 10 major borrowers constitute about 40% of it. 10 JETCO with highest with 9.63%, and followed by UPPCL, MSCDCL, etc. So continuing decline in our NPAs, indicating improved asset quality. Our net NPA is now less than 1%, and our gross NPA stands at 3.28%. Provision coverage ratio of 70.46%. In all the resolutions that are happening, we are having actually write-backs. The provision is higher than the sacrifices that we are having to make. And as our CMD has said, no new NPA during the last 6 quarters. So these are the credit impaired asset, as you see, that we have provided for out of 14,892 crores. 10,493 crores have already been provided for, and in terms of our net NPA, it's less than 1%. So these are some of the resolutions that are happening. 13,000 crores of projects are in the NCLT, 14 projects. We hope that all of these projects will be resolved in 23-24 and 24-25, so that we shall be NPA, nil NPA company by 31st March 25. So domestic rating AAA domestically, and international issuer rating by Fitch and Moody's at par with the sovereign. So our total borrowing is 3,97,582 crores. We raised borrowing from multiple sources: corporate bonds, foreign currency borrowing. Foreign currency borrowing almost constitutes 24% of our total borrowings, which is indicates the faith that the foreign debt investors have in this company. Foreign currency 21%. Capital gain bonds, which is the cheapest source of fund, also constitute 10%, and corporate bonds at 40%. So these are some of the funds raised during the period. 49,194 during Q1, driven by the higher disbursement in this quarter. So these are the major highlights. Total income stands at almost 11,000 crores, 16% increase year on year. Net profit at 2,961 crore, 20% higher year on year. Loan book reached to 4.5 lakh crores, 17% increase. Asset quality improved with net credit asset less than 1%, 0.97%. Net worth stands at 60,886 crore, up 16%. And capital adequacy ratio at very healthy 27.6%. So we have a lot of scope for future growth. So these are this thing, and these are key ratios. Our yield 9.82%. Cost of funds is 7.23%. These are the figures that are moderated, largely because we are more concentrating on good quality assets, and therefore we have somewhat sacrificed the margins, but that is to maintain a very healthy asset quality. So interest spread is at 2.59 and net interest margin at 3.28%. Return on net worth is close to 20%. Interest coverage ratio 1.53 and debt equity ratio 6.42%. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. As I had highlighted that the renewable energy portfolio, which stands around 7%, it was about 30,000 crore. at the end of financial year 23, around 31st March, we want to increase it to tenfold, about 3 lakh crore. So most of the financing will come for the green projects, and there is no dearth of fund. There are so many pension fund, insurance fund, sovereign wealth fund. They're all willing to invest for the green projects. The volume is not an issue. We are getting sufficient volume for financing green projects. The only thing that we are focusing on is how to lower the cost of financing. We have to give the most competitive rate to our borrower. So that is the challenge. For that we are accessing different options. Recently, we had raised $750 million of green bonds. It got a very good response. Initially, we had planned to raise only $500 million, but keeping with the tremendous response from investors, we raised $750 million. Now we are targeting Japanese yen, external commercial borrowing. That is one of the cheapest source of funding. Since most of the financing is going to be in the projects related with the energy transition, so we'll be able to raise the funds. There is absolutely no dearth of the fund for raising for the green projects. The diversification of our portfolio, which Mr. Ajay Chaudhary, our Director of Finance, had covered, still the lowest cost of financing that is accruing to us is from 54 EC capital gains bond, where people can invest for saving their capital gain tax. We are taking up the matter with Ministry of Finance to raise the ceiling of 50 lakh to 1 crore for investment in 54 EC capital gains tax bond. Other than that, now we have diversified into infrastructure and logistics. Although last year our sanction was to the tune of about 85,000 crore last financial year, the disbursement were not that much in infrastructure logistics. That was around 2,000 crore only. But current financial year, this disbursement will also increase in infrastructure logistics, and infrastructure logistics we are getting good margins. So we have started funding airports, metro projects, ports, highways, IT infrastructure, super specialty hospital. Ministry of Power, Government of India has allowed us that 1/3 of our loan portfolio could be from non-power infrastructure project. 2/3 will still be related with the power sector only. And power sector mostly our focus is going to be on the green projects.
Sir, one supplementary question. Since you have earmarked 30...
Our loan portfolio for coal-based generation is coming down actually. Earlier it used to be about 39%. It was more than 40%. But as we are speaking, our loan portfolio for coal-based generation projects has come down to about 30-31% only. There is substantial reduction of about 8 to 9%. As very few coal-based power plants are coming, we are committed that to fund even coal-based power plant. There is absolutely no problem, because the country's base load is being provided by coal-based power plant. Coal is the strength of India. We don't have natural gas. Other countries, in the name of energy transition, they are focusing on gas-based projects. Gas is also fossil fuel. So we have to use our strength. Coal is our strength. And we are making all measures to reduce emission by coal-based power plant by using the latest technology, latest equipment to reduce the carbon emission from coal-based power plant, including FGDs. Please introduce your...
Oman. I want to know that when you're planning for the NPAs, you're saying 0 in 2025 and your achievement of 2030 targets. So what is the growth strategy you're going to adopt, and your exposure when you were showing us the dividend, the share, so LIC is about just 1%. So why is the exposure of LIC so? I mean, that's really not, they should have more. So why is it not doing it in REC?
First, this NPA.
Yes, for NPA, today we have roughly 19 projects which are currently NPA. These are all legacy assets. We have targeted close to 9 projects in the current financial year for resolution. Those 9 projects, our principal outstanding is close to 7,300 or 7,400 crore. So out of 14,000, 7,000 crore, which is roughly 50%, is targeted to be resolved within the current year. Many of the assets are at advanced stage of resolution. Remaining 7,000, as CMD sir said, that in the next financial year will resolve all of those 7,000 crore projects and which are currently NPA. With that, we will come to almost net zero NPA. That's the path that we have actually made for making us net NPA zero company.
With regard to LIC, I'll request Director of Finance to respond.
Yeah, LIC, earlier was holding around 3% in our equity, but subsequently, it's a play of the market. As our share prices rose, they decided to, book profit. That's a simple explanation that we can give. But you can see that, our, as I said, more than 20% of the equity is still being held by the foreign portfolio investors, which is, to show the confidence that they have in this company. So LIC holding 1.21%, it's nothing, something very...
Market play only.
It's a market play of the market.
Yeah. Mentioned, we are in the process of resolution. Are already there in NCLT. The resolution process is on. We hope that about 6 to 9 projects will get resolved either through NCLT or outside NCLT. To most of the projects which have become NPA, we are in the process of resolving it. And those who cannot be resolved, their liquidation process is on. So we hope that by the year 2025, we'll be able to resolve all these NPA assets.
Set of numbers. So a couple of questions. First, related with the net translation or transaction amount, which seems to have contributed about 400 crores, alone to your profit. So if you could just explain where that came from. And second, with regards to your, the 3 lakh crore that target for yourselves.
First, you take the
Translation loss, there was not much volatility as far as the US dollar was concerned vis-a-vis the INR. So virtually we gained there about 13 crore rupees, and there was a translation loss of about 63 crore rupees in respect of the earlier loans which were having prior to 1/4/2018, whereby it was allowed to be amortized. So as such, the net translation was only 50 crore rupees in this particular quarter. So that was not much. And as far as the MTM valuation is concerned, so there we gained about 200 crore rupees. So virtually there was an increase of 200 minus 50, roughly 150 crore rupees.
Just to add that MTM is the derivative contracts which we value mark to market every quarter. So there we gained the value of our derivatives. If we collapse today, then we'll get more value. Yeah.
this 3 lakh crore, the amount that I have stated pertains to the likely outstanding loan from the renewable energy portfolio. Whatever amount we sanction, its disbursement takes time. If now we identified 2,86,000 crore projects during the Goa summit, it will gradually get converted in will sanction those projects after due appraisal, due diligence. Thereafter loan documentation will happen, and project gestation period is about 2 to 3 years. So disbursement will happen over the years. So in 1 year, if we sanction 3 lakh crore, it will not result into outstanding of 3 lakh crore in 1 single year. For that, we need to sanction about 9 lakh, 10 lakh crore. Then outstanding loan from that sanction will be about 3 lakh crore.
Yeah, what I was saying.
Yeah, Mr. Singh would like to add.
In addition to that, these are the projects which are currently in the hands of the developers. They have already won it, or they have the intention to develop these projects. This pipeline is for say next 2 to 3 to 4 years. In case of larger stations, say PSP or hydrogen, this is going to take 4 to 5 years. But for other major part of it, which is pure vanilla, solar or wind or a hybrid or a RTC project, it will take 1 to 2 years to implement them. And then as you know that every year we have to award a capacity of 50 gigawatt to reach to that 500 gigawatt goal. So many more projects will come up, these developers will win and they will come our way for sanction, and that is how we will sanction much more than 286. But the loan book as at the end of 2030, that is what we are targeting as 3 lakh.
Sir, thank you very much. You are making a very nice strides in technology and other activities. My moot question is, we have been hearing that the 100% electrification sooner or later we will be doing. So the moot question arises, how much percentage of electrification across the country we have done? Is it 50%? Is it 70%? Is it 80%? So that, we have the glimpse of your projection, because you have switched to infrastructure, because you are maybe doing very well. But I would like to ask you, how much India is electrified? Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, Honorable Prime Minister, during his independence speech on 15th August 2015, had announced that will electrify 100% village in a period of 1,000 days. REC had become nodal agency on behalf of Ministry of Power, Government of India, to implement village electrification program, which was called as Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana. All the census villages which were inhabited have been electrified in the month of April 2018 in a record time of 987 days, 13 days short of 1,000 days promised by Honorable Prime Minister. So we had electrified about 18,374 villages. That was one part. Thereafter, after covering all the inhabited census villages, next target was to do 100% household electrification for the willing household. The catch was willing household. So whoever were willing household, with the help of distribution companies across the country, a massive mobilization exercise was taken up. The men, material and money were all mobilized, and we were able to provide household electrification to about 40-50 households which were 20-30 kilometers away from the grid. For that, off-grid solution was provided. There were certain issues where off-grid solution were provided, but operation maintenance issues were there. Thereafter, some additional households have also come up. There are some hamlet, Majra Tola, some households, new households have come. For that, under ongoing this revamped distribution sector scheme, a provision has been made to cover this additional household which are being set up. Those new additional households which are coming, for electrification of those households also a provision has been made under RDSS. So more than 99% households have already been covered. Those Majra Tola, some households are left out. For that also the project has been sanctioned. Most of the states have given their proposal, and under revamped distribution sector scheme, this monitoring committee headed by Secretary Power has already sanctioned those households also.
What was the selection criteria for the projects and the companies which you have associated yourself with?
Very about state versus private sector. As of now, our 90% of lending is to the state utilities. That's true. Only 10% lending is to the private sector. But going forward, since we are targeting the projects which are coming under energy transition, and most of these green projects are coming under private sector. That's why our loan portfolio to private sector is going to increase substantially. Right now it is about 10%. It will grow to minimum 30% by the year 2030, and it can go beyond that also. With regard to the projects which have been identified, for which we have signed MOU about 2,86,000 crore, for that we had carried out detailed exercise. We had held one meeting with the various developers. We sat with them, identified the projects which are likely to come through in the next 3 to 4 years. Solar, wind, hybrid solar wind, storage projects, e-mobility projects, manufacturing projects, green ammonia, green hydrogen projects. The developers themselves had identified and they had expressed their interest that they would like to get financing from REC. Based on that, we had done detailed exercise. We have identified the project-wise details are with us. We'll work on those private developers to prepare detailed DPR and carry out due diligence to sanction those projects.
Just one quick supplementary question on the power distribution sector. So apart from your association through the Government of India schemes, would we see a reduction in your exposure to the power distribution sector in terms of working capital lending, etc.?
Right now, Government of India has taken a very ambitious scheme and reform scheme called Revamped Distribution Sector Scheme, in which total investment of 3 lakh crore is envisaged. Out of 3 lakh crore, Government of India grant is going to be only about 97,000 crore. Remaining 2 lakh or more than 2 lakh crore, 2,03,000 crore will come from the state resources or through the borrowing. So most of the borrowings will come from REC and PFC only, because we are the major lenders to DISCOMs. So till 2026-27, I don't think there will be any reduction in the distribution sector portfolio. Our distribution sector lending is about 32%. So that will remain or may increase also. But conventional generation portfolio will come down. The space will be taken by the renewable energy projects and the infrastructure and logistics projects.
The private sector player, not the distribution entity or any other entity, but the private sector player like Apava. There are many other, AMISPs, IntelliSmart, GMR. We are targeting this as a separate,
State assets are already in NCLT. They are, when a committee was set up under the chairmanship of the then Cabinet Secretary, they had identified 34 stressed projects for resolution. Out of 34 stressed this projects, 17 or 18 are already resolved. Their issues have been resolved, and about 10 projects are under NCLT, and the remaining are undergoing through liquidation process. So no new, as I have mentioned, that no new NPA has been created in the last 6 quarters. So no new NPA is going to be added. Those assets which had become NPA previously, they are already in the process of resolution, either through NCLT or through liquidation process. So that we are, तो Q1 का हमारा फाइनेंशियल रिजल्ट जो है आंकड़ों में है, जो आपके सामने हैं सारे आंकड़े. Let's pass on the mic. बताना चाहूँगा कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर ने लीडरशिप रोल लिया है, और इस साल Honorable Minister for Power and Renewable Energy had taken up lot of reform measures. The kind of reforms which have been carried out in last 2-3 years are tremendous. Never ever those reform measures were taken. The major breakthrough was introduction of late payment surcharge scheme. With the introduction of late payment surcharge, all the generators, transcos are assured of their payment. The legacy dues issues have already been addressed. There has been EMI has been fixed for clearing the dues of the gencos and transmission companies, and moreover, the current dues are getting paid. We had brought out a special product called a revolving bill payment facility. So using this special product, the current bills have also been cleared. Other than this reform measures, India had assumed the presidency of G20 current year. The last 2-3 years have been focused on our efforts for energy transition. All enabling provisions were made by Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy to promote green projects. So these were the reasons for such a rapid growth in the last 2 to 3 years.
Mr. Devangan.
Asking this question actually. Other than green hydrogen, green ammonia, because it's very difficult to store hydrogen. Storage and transportation is a big issue. So the developers would like to convert green hydrogen into green ammonia. The most of the demand of green ammonia is overseas. So we would like to support green hydrogen, green ammonia plants wherever they are nearer to the ultimate consumers. That is one potential area where we are likely to focus on overseas project. Other than that, Honorable Prime Minister had given his vision for one sun, one world, one grid. I hope that lot of work is going to happen in the coming future, and this will give lot of opportunity for financing overseas projects also. Regional, country transmission lines would be set up. The renewable energy projects would be set up. Their evacuation would be a big challenge. So lot of overseas opportunities are there.
Assets of the projects that we are going to target are the projects which have revenue in foreign currency, like hydrogen, for example. Now we are seeing that in some of the cases, even renewable energy projects have got revenue in foreign currency, in dollars. So all of this will be, we have started financing. We financed this Oman project. We financed another Sterlites, one mega project of roughly 3,000 crore, which has revenue in dollar. These are all seed assets for our subsidy company in Gift City. So anything which has foreign currency revenue will be the target under that subsidy company, because there will be an advantage of natural hedge, and therefore all of that will come under that particular subsidy.
बाई 7 पावर के संदर्भ में बताना चाहूँगा कि अर्बन क्षेत्रों में, शहरी क्षेत्रों में पावर सप्लाई लगभग 23.5 23.5 घंटे की बिजली आजकल उपलब्ध हो रही है, यदि हम पूरे देश भर का आंकड़ों का ब्यौरा लें। ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में मानता हूँ, ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में अभी भी 22 घंटे का औसत है, जो कि हमें बढ़ाना है। इसी के लिए जो 24/7 रिलायबल अफोर्डेबल पावर सप्लाई हम उपभोक्ताओं को उपलब्ध करा पाएँ, इसी के लिए रिवैम्प्ड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेक्टर रिफॉर्म स्कीम लॉन्च की गई थी, और मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टेट्स में इसका प्रोजेक्ट सैंक्शन हो गया है, एक्सेप्ट अभी केवल तेलंगाना और कर्नाटका 2 स्टेट रह गए हैं, वो भी धीरे धीरे वहाँ भी सैंक्शन हो जाएगा। अदर देन तेलंगाना एंड कर्नाटका सभी राज्यों में प्रोजेक्ट सैंक्शन हो गए हैं। जो 3 लाख करोड़ का जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होने वाला है रिवैम्प्ड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेक्टर स्कीम में, उसमें से लगभग 2,70,000 के प्रोजेक्ट तो ऑलरेडी सैंक्शन हो चुके हैं, और उसमें मेजर कंपोनेंट है स्मार्ट मीटर, प्रीपेड स्मार्ट मीटरिंग का। तो ये सारे इनिशिएटिव जो हैं, ये बाय द एंड ऑफ मार्च 2026 24/7 reliable, affordable supply of power to consumers will be ensured.
This is a big amount. So I wanted to understand what is the time frame do people are investing in there, and what's the percentage are you giving, and for senior citizens, what is the incentive? And the second question, जो आपने G20 का बोला about the presidency, you were in Goa. And those MOUs, so which are the major MOUs you
होता है, लोग अपना कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स बचाने के लिए उसमें इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। 5 साल के लिए लॉक इन हो जाता है पैसा, परंतु उन्हें एनुअल 5 से 5.5% तक का रिटर्न मिलता है। अभी इस साल जो लोग इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं उन्हें 5.25% का रिटर्न मिलेगा. आई रिक्वेस्ट डायरेक्टर फाइनेंस टू गिव मोर डिटेल अबाउट.
दीज कैपिटल गेन बॉन्ड्स एक्चुअली ये जो अगर कोई आदमी लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल इसको सेल करेगा तो उसमें जो प्रॉफिट है उसको बचा सकता है बाय इन्वेस्टिंग इन दीज बॉन्ड्स. सो 20% का स्ट्रेट अवे उसको फ़ायदा हो जाता है. एडिशनली ही गेट ए कूपन ऑफ 5.25% फ्रॉम REC. दिस इज लॉक्ड इन फॉर 5 years as our CMD said, and after 5 years he gets this 5.25% is of course taxable. तो नेट उसको काफ़ी इससे गेन होता है. तो वी आर देयर आर 4 companies which can take out these bonds. We actually corner almost 75% of the market today currently at 12,000 crores. तो ये हमें it's a the cheapest source of fund. 5.25% तो almost savings bank का रेट है. The cheapest source of funds for us.
आज जिस कंपनी 25 कंपनियों से हमारा जो MOU हुआ है उसमें सोलर प्रोजेक्ट लगभग 50,000 करोड़ के हैं जो ऑलरेडी सैंक्शन है. सेकी के द्वारा बिड किए गए हैं, NTPC के द्वारा बिड किए हैं, NHPC के द्वारा बिड किए हैं, कुछ स्टेट सेक्टर ने बिडिंग किए हैं. उसमें जो डेवलपर जीत गए हैं, जो वन द बिड, उनको हम लोग लगभग 50,000 करोड़ की फाइनेंसिंग करेंगे फॉर सेटिंग अप सोलर बेस्ड पावर प्लांट. हाइब्रिड सॉल्यूशन के लिए भी है. सोलर विंड का हाइब्रिड सॉल्यूशन का लगभग 50,000 करोड़ का उसका भी प्रोजेक्ट आइडेंटिफाई हो गया है. केवल विंड के प्रोजेक्ट के लगभग 5,000 करोड़ के प्रस्ताव हैं. इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी, इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस का फाइनेंसिंग का लगभग 25,000 करोड़ का 4-5 कंपनियां जितने भी हैं सभी से हमारे प्रस्ताव आ गए हैं. उसमें हमने आइडेंटिफाई कि लगभग इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी के हम लोग 25,000 करोड़ करेंगे. नॉट ओनली इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस, उनके साथ साथ एसोसिएटेड जो चार्जिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है उसके लिए भी हम लोग फाइनेंसिंग देंगे. ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, ग्रीन अमोनिया के लगभग 45,000 करोड़ के प्रोजेक्ट चिन्हित कर दिए गए हैं, उसका भी हम फाइनेंसिंग करेंगे. पंप स्टोरेज प्रोजेक्ट जो हाइड्रो प्रोजेक्ट है उसके लिए हमने 45,000 करोड़ के प्रोजेक्ट चिन्हांकित किए हैं. और फिर इक्विपमेंट और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उनके लिए लगभग 1,700 करोड़ का अपने प्रोजेक्ट हमने चिन्हांकित किया है.